some jerk at 18 and a different value system at 23. You can never find yourself if you read, keep up with new ideas. What self? The self of 20? When I was 15, I was a jerk. And as time went on, I learned more about many different things and knew how much I had to learn in order to move forward. There is no finding yourself. People come over to me and say, I want to know how I relate to the cosmos. We don't even know how a single cell splits. And they want to know how they relate to the cosmos. What a bunch of verbal crap. Really, it's meaningless. And so, I'm sorry that I only have 1 hour to try to give you ideas along different lines. Generally, it takes seminars. It takes a lot of demonstration and films. I did not mean to offend any of you. I hope that I didn't. Thank you for your time.
I'm sure the audience has some questions. Fire away.
Yes.
I teach middle school kids. What do you see?
I'm a little hard of hearing. I'm sorry about that.
I teach middle school kids, and I wondered some of your philosophies of education.
Okay.
In that
Got the
applies
point.
to you?
For example, in our city design, we have big lakes. We've made all these lakes. They exist. It's real. We have modern structures there, all different. Roxanne said to me, my associate, she said, Jacques, I just don't want to draw pretty pictures of buildings. I want to build them. I want to make them. And she did all the cement work. And one day she came over and she said, how about a swimming pool? And she was with a girlfriend. I said, when do you girls want to start? Well, we never built a pool. They built it in 2 weeks, a beautiful pool. We'll show you pictures of it. And so we built a big lake in the city. And there's a hill in the middle of the lake, about 80 feet up out of the water. And on top of the hill is a craft shop where children can build anything they want to build. But in order to get there, you got to get in a boat and row it. Instead of lining them up and say, come on, everybody together, forward, backward now. Arrange the environment so you have to row to get to the hill. You have to climb the hill to get to the craft shop. And an automobile or anything you build will not go together unless 4 children pick up the car and the others put the wheels on. Instead of saying, I want you people to work together and cooperate and stop fighting, arrange things so that it works that way. That's what nature does. When a fox, a baby fox, sees a porcupine, and says, wait, what have we here? He says, I don't know. And he gets close to the porcupine. Finally, he gets a quill, and he stays away from the porcupine. But if you raise your children and try to avoid experiences that had hurt you, and you buy them every toy that they want, you produce a blob of jello. Some degree of challenge, some degree of stress is necessary. And so we build an environment, try to answer your question, with the elements so arranged as to produce what you call creativity. Can I give you one more bit on that? All right. Is there anyone else interested in creativity in children? You raise your hands? Okay. What we do is I ask a child to make a drawing. Anything they want to draw, and this is what they usually do. Can everybody see the blackboard? Well, I'll draw it up here. They draw something like this. I'm talking about 4- and 5-year-olds. And then they draw something like this. And then most of them do something like this. I'm sure you've all seen those drawings. In fact, I'm sure many of you draw that way today. And so the teacher gives them some crayon, and they color it, and she hangs it up. This is little Billy's drawing. But when she tells Billy that this is the way we spell cat, and Billy says, I see, and he comes back with something like this. Can you see that? The teacher says, that's wrong. That isn't wrong. Most of it is appropriate. It's just this that we change. So I say very close. We just substitute this with something like this. And then the child comes back again with something like this. I say much closer, much better. Only we turn this around so you can put the A inside of it. Say whatever you have to say to get the idea across. Instead of saying, well, that isn't what I told you. Well, you're just using that child as an outlet for insufficiency. Then I do this with the children. I have them draw the letter T. And I say, which one of these look like a peach pit? The child generally picks this. I say, those of you back there, I'm sure you can't see that, and the blackboard is fully cluttered, and I don't have, here, I'll try to clear an area where most of you can see. The child draws the letter T, and he draws a peach pit in the middle. Then he draws one peach pit here and one there, and he takes out the middle peach pit. Then I say, what is this? They say, that's a bunch of birdies flying. I said, good. You move down a peach pit and a half and draw the letter V upside down. And the child draws the letter V upside down. Then he draws a birdie under the V, one peach pit down, like this. And then he joins another birdie to that and a half round beneath that and one peach pit above. He does this. And then I say to the child, what is this? That's a heart. I said, good. Half a heart from the top of the eyebrow to the bottom of the nose. And they move from that offensive drawing made by the child to this in less than a half hour. And I'm talking about 5- and 6-year-olds moving into this realm, drawing sports cars, turning them around. And we give them crayon and chalk because we want them to bring out their artistic ability. You can't bring out anything if there's no basis or structure for it. If you sit in the woods and meditate on your navel for 3 years, you'll have a tremendously clear picture of the navel and nothing more. So you have to work to get information. You have to arrange things so that it generates what you call creativity. Now, a psychologist in one session said that, well, I know 2 children that came from the same environment, and if environment is everything, one turned out to be a gangster, the other a minister. If environment is everything, how do you get those differences? The minute you pick up one child and start playing with it, and the other stands there with that lip out, you're making jealousy and envy. There's no such thing as the same environment. So when I pick up my little girl, I pick up my older little boy. You never work with one child. Why can't you keep your area clean? Your brother does all the time. You leave all your things around. Well, when he trips and falls down the stairs, his brother smiles, an inhibited smile, of course. But he does smile. So we build these artificialities in the world we live in today. We've got to interfere and change things. Those of you that would like to know more about the Venus Project, we have a video, a tape, and a book introducing the basic conceptual layout of what it's about. Any other questions? I can't go into more detail. Yes?
I find your views about the future interesting, but how do you account for human nature?
How do I account for what?
Human nature.
Human nature. Human nature is the way people have found other people to behave over many long years. They appear to manifest greed, jealousy, envy, even animals. If you take a cat and put it on your lap in the presence of the dog may growl. And a psychologist, that's what I mean by the nature of the beast. So I said, come on down to my lab in about a week. So I picked up my cat, put it on my lap, and the dog's tail starts wagging. Because you reinforce the dog before you pick up the cat and put it. The cat is a threat to the dog's security. The dog wants you to pet it, not the cat. So you give the dog these ambivalent feelings. But you can have 15 kids in the room without jealousy, without envy. It is not human nature. It's human behavior that's shaped by culture. Like I said, if you were brought up in China years ago, you'd walk with your hands in your sleeves and shuffle and wear a long pigtail. And say, well, that's human nature. That's not. That's the influence of environment on your behavior. Dancing is the same thing.